Ben 10 is one of Cartoon Network's most successful shows. It was created with a creative and brilliant idea in mind. An average kid gets a watch that allows him to turn into aliens. The creators of the show added a few villains, a backstory, and a few friends, and voila! The show was ready to blow away the minds of the audience. But that isn't the case. Ben 10 though has seen many heights. It also went through major lows, eventually losing its loyal audience. But the question is, what actually went wrong with the show? Let's find out. So, before heading forward, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Being a successful show, Ben 10 became eligible for sequels, yes plural, not 1 not 2 but 3 sequels. Ben 10 Alien Force was one of the most loved sequels. Ben changed, his age and character appearance improved, eventually improving the franchise, which upgraded the show, adding a darker teenage atmosphere to the series. This is where the fans started taking the franchise more seriously than some happy action figure loving teenager running around with an alien watch. Alien Force served much more than just cartoonish monsters. Ben was mature and had begun to understand more things. The writers then brought in more complex plots that younger kids could understand, and older kids could relate to, making it shine among both the age groups. With Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, the show creator outdid themselves. The newly added feature of superpowered versions of the already so superpowered aliens worked wonders for the show. The show was still an animated one to retain the same concept as before, except now, Ben was older and the series had complex subplots. This might be one of the reasons Ultimate Alien was the most sophisticated and well-received sequel of the franchise. Even though some episodes were somewhat similar to Alien Force, the Ultimate Aliens were perfect for the show, and the return of the older characters, a more mature storyline, and great themes added to the brilliance of the show. However, by this very sequel, there were numerous glitches in the storyline, one of them being, out of the 33 aliens Ben had access to, only 6 had ultimate forms and they were rarely used. This sequel ended with a new Omnitrix, which according to Azimuth, was the complete version of the prototype he had in Series 1 and 2. Ben 10 did make a space for itself in our hearts and our schedules, but they did make their way out of it too. With Ben 10 Omniverse, the show went down a hill. Ben plays around with his new Omnitrix, the Ultimatrix, and being a viewer, it felt as though the writers did not care much about the storyline after the demise of the Alien Force Ultimate Alien showrunner Dwayne McDuffie. The idea of Omniverse was to take the best parts of all the 3 prequels and put them together and coming up with something that would blow away our minds, but looks like the series tanked miserably. The very first poster of Omniverse received a tremendous amount of backlash from the fans. Though Omniverse's art style allowed more emotions and expressions, it wasn't well received. People bashed the new style since they were already accustomed to the previous art style. Seems we weren't ready for this change. The network had demanded for Ben to push back to his younger roots. Owing to these demands, there were episodes just reminiscing the old Ben, all in an attempt to bask in the success of the classic series. What the network did not quite contemplate was the fact that the classic series marks the origin of Ben and moves through his entire growth as a mature being, to a competitive hero. By this time, Ben's character development had already started running in the opposite direction, and the viewers were not happy to see their favorite hero regress, as they found it insulting. Omniverse, in an attempt to maintain their fan base amongst the younger audience, lost their loyal fan base because the show made it look as if nothing Ben had gone through in the previous seasons meant anything to him. Omniverse also messed up in terms of continuity and order. There were episodes with events that had never been discussed and aliens that had not been previously unlocked. As a viewer, watching Ben 10 Omniverse felt like they had absolutely no idea what kind of show they were planning to be until far later into the series. Season 6 to 8 felt like a completely different show from Season 1 to 4, while Season 5 tried to bridge the two together. Ben 10 was running too long and the audience was growing older. Since a lot of sales came through the toys, with Omniverse, Cartoon Network wanted to engage the younger audience, such that there might be an increase in the sales, but this decision was a major fail. Not only did Ben 10 fail to gain a new audience, but it lost its existing fanbase too. The decrease in sales resulted in Ben 10 losing its funding, and Cartoon Network burned off the final seasons at 6 a.m. time slots with no advertisings, in hopes to make back some of the money and tax returns by purposely giving the show bad ratings. While Omniverse was failing, Cartoon Network set it up to crash and burn in its end. Ben 10 was a series of constant changes in characters, continuity, tone, and art style. These changes made it challenging to be a fan of the show throughout. With network demands being incorporated into the show every single time, there was no other way out but to reboot it. Ben 10 Reboot might not be it for the previous fanbase, because let's admit it, we have all grown up to find solace in new cartoon shows. The reboot has a cool art style. Even though it may be a rip-off of the previous series, it has many elements that have their own charm. Even though the reboot has smooth animation, it is, however, a downgrade compared to the previous series. Not many episodes in the reboot add on to the story, and the show appears to only aim for the younger audience and sell toys. The reboot is expected to match the levels that the previous 4 series have set up, but sadly, it matches none of them. After all, it must be treated as a separate entity. The previous Ben 10 though had been burnt off by the network. It had many stories to tell. We never got to see how he puts the master control to everyday use, or see him go his way and become Ben 10,000. Yes, we will never get to see that. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.